Spirituality. What is it? There are a lot of different ideas, a lot of different answers to that question. Well, I'm going to give you some of my thoughts if you'll be patient enough to hear me out. And anyone out there is free to agree or disagree with whatever parts they want. I'm not trying to shove any of this down someone's throat, but I would like to see our world get better. And I do believe that I've got a few things figured out that could help that to happen. And for those people who are believers that there is an afterlife and that there is something to look forward to beyond the physical life that you're living in the body you're in right now, which I'm, of course, talking to people who are actually in bodies watching this as opposed to somebody leaning over someone's shoulder who doesn't have a body to be leaning in. But I'd like to speak to all of you out there. My idea of spirituality is not mysterious at all. The spirit world and the physical world are connected, just like the energy world and the matter world. Energy and matter are two forms of the same thing. Matter is a form of energy. Energy is just basically matter that's disintegrated. The spirit world is made of information. All matter contains information. And all information, at least in our experience, is stored in energy. All energy is stored in some sort of particle or field, which could again be considered part of the material world, but also contains information. It's all interwoven. It's all interconnected. There is no way to separate the spirit world from the physical world, in my opinion. And there again, I could be wrong, I could be mistaken, but I've learned enough to, in a sense, see the spirit world around me. I recognize what it's made of. Like I said, it's no mystery. I don't see ghosts walking through walls. I see the spirit of one person being passed to another person as simply as a kind gesture or a few friendly words. Sure, they don't pass their whole spirit into the other person. How could they? I mean, think about it. We look at our earth generally as a big ball of dirt with a lot of water and mud on it. What about the gravitational field that extends beyond the planet? What about the magnetism that reaches up from the core of the planet and goes well beyond the surface? These are information. They're physical fields, but they're also part of the spiritual world. There's no mystery there. The spirit of our planet is a rather simple one if you're looking at the planet as a whole. But all of us who are living on this planet are, in a sense, a part of the planet as well. We're a part of its physical mass, and we are, therefore, also a part of its spirit. So what does it mean to be born again in this context? Well, we've all been born physically. When are we going to be born spiritually? There again, not meant to be mysterious. So I'm going to make this very simple. I'm going to say this much about the spirit world, about spirits. That if you look at it linguistically, we use the word spirit in a lot of ways. But people do say things like, so-and-so is with us in spirit, when that person is still alive and far away physically. It's a sort of essence of the person that's being talked about. Is it complete fiction? Of course not. Is it demonstratable? Yeah, but we haven't put enough serious study into it to really demonstrate it well. It's not to say it can't be done, We've got to stop letting religions own spirituality. Let the people own it. Stop fighting over which religion is right. I don't think any of them are completely right. They've all got a few things right and a few things wrong. And I'm not going to start judging which ones have more right or which ones have more wrong, because it's not important. What's important is that we learn from each other. That we start accepting the fact that there are things in this world that are still mysterious just because we haven't taken the time to examine them seriously. And a lot of that stems from the fact that we let religions get in the way, either by believing them or by fighting against a belief in them, or whatever the case might be. But we let them get in the way. Stop letting the religions own us. If God wanted to own us, He could have done so, provided, God meets any of the descriptions I know of Him. Obviously, we weren't meant to be property, so we should stop treating each other like property and start treating each other like human beings, like part of humanity, and let humanity wake up and realize what it is. Just like your brain, made out of all those individual thinking brain cells, one day woke up and realized it was a brain. It was something. It was a thinking entity. Even though it was made out of a bunch of thinking entities, our society has that potential. I'm not talking about transferring thoughts to each other in a fraction of a second. I'm talking about plain old communication.